In the dark times, will there also be singing? Yes, there will be singing about the dark times. Art has always been more than a decoration. It is a mirror, a challenge, and a vision. In times of systemic collapse, whether ecological, political, or social, art and the imagination become vital tools. They critique our current systems, inspire change, and remind us of futures we have yet to build. This video essay explores how art confronts systemic crises and offers a pathway toward a more just and sustainable world. Art has always served a multifaceted purpose to mankind, acting as a medium for expression, a vehicle for critique, and a catalyst for change. In its earliest forms, Theodor Adorno observed that art in ancient societies was rooted in cult, serving as a symbolic bridge between humanity and the divine. These works, often religious in nature, were not just aesthetic objects, but functional artifacts that reinforced collective beliefs and practices. For instance, this limestone stela depicts Pharaoh Akhenaten, his wife Nefertiti, and their 3 daughters in an intimate family scene under the rays of the Aten, the sun disk. The artwork exemplifies the Amarna period's unique artistic style and religious focus on Atenism. As societies evolved, art increasingly took on a role reflecting and critiquing social realities. During the Enlightenment, artists began to challenge dogmas and question hierarchical structures. Enlightenment is a man's emergence from his self-imposed immaturity. Immaturity is the inability to use one's understanding without guidance from another. Sapere aude. Have courage to use your own understanding. Immanuel Kant, his essay, What is Enlightenment? The Industrial Revolution and subsequent rise of capitalism marked another pivotal shift in art's role. Adorno laminated the commodification of art in modern era. The culture industry intentionally integrates its consumers from above, to the detriment of both its forces. Together, the spheres of high and low art separated for thousands of years. The seriousness of high art is destroyed in speculation about its efficacy. The seriousness of lower perishes within the civilization constraints imposed on the rebellious resistance inherent within it, as long as social control was not yet total. Thus, although the culture industry undeniably speculates on conscious and unconscious state of the millions towards which it is directed, the masses are not primary but secondary. They are appendage of the machinery. Adorno, The Culture Industry Reconsidered essay. The culture industry merges high and low art and undermining the integrity of both by subjecting them to market forces and social control, ultimately reducing art to mere commodities that serve the interest of capitalist production, mass production, and commercialization. Turned art into a product for consumption rather than a tool for critical engagement. Yet, even within these constraints, movements like Dada and Surrealism resisted these trends, using art to subvert bourgeois values and question the very nature of reality. Art has always functioned as a means to grapple with despair and imagine new possibilities, especially in times of crisis. Whether through the written word, visual media, or collective performances, art serves as a conduit for expressing grief, resisting oppression, and cultivating hope. In Sarah Azizia's The Work of the Witness, she poignantly asserts the importance of bearing witness to atrocities where acts of artistic documentation become resistance against erasure and denial. Aziza writes, their dispatches are an act of resistance, transmitting truths systemically exercised from legacy media. Aziza. This framing highlights how even in destruction, creativity can forge a narrative of endurance and truth. Art does not merely observe, it actively constructs a space for hope. In Naomi Klein's Unselfing, she reflects on the potential for collective transformation in the face of ecological and social collapse. Klein recalls moments of shared action and imagination during crises, noting how emissions were rebounding, yet people sought ways to reassess our collective priorities during the pandemic. This underscores how art and shared creative practices can encourage individuals to reconnect with both personal and societal priorities. Moreover, Brecht's theater, as outlined in Cool Wumps and discussed by Mark Silberman, provides an additional framework for understanding art's capacity to inspire collective hope. The alienation effect used in Brecht's work forces the audience to see the mechanisms of oppression while simultaneously imagining an alternative future. This duality, critiquing the present while envisioning transformation, is where art's hopeful power resides. Mackenzie Wark's reflections on raving offer a more contemporary, experiential perspective. Wark describes the rave as a pocket in time-space, a communal environment where identities dissolve and new possibilities emerge. These temporary spaces illustrate how even fleeting moments of collective creativity can foster resilience and solidarity in the face of systemic challenges. Walter Benjamin's concept of aura provides a powerful lens for understanding the transformative role of art in modern society and its potential as a form of critique. In his seminal essay, The Work of Art in the Age of Mechanical Reproduction, Benjamin defines the aura as a unique phenomenon of a distance, however close it may be. This aura, he explains, is tied to the authenticity of an artwork, its presence in a specific time and place, imbued with cultural and historical significance. Benjamin writes, "What is really jeopardized when historical testimony is affected is the authority of the object. One might subsume the eliminated element in term aura and go on to say that which withers in the age of mechanical reproduction is the aura of the work of art." Benjamin's observations were revolutionary for its time. He argued that mechanical reproduction through photography and other media dismantles the exclusivity and ritualistic significance of traditional art. This loss, however, is not purely negative. By eliminating the aura, reproduction makes art more accessible to the masses, shifting its function from being an object of reverence to a medium for critical engagement. Benjamin continues, "For the first time in world history, mechanical reproduction emancipates the work of art from its parasitical dependence on ritual. To an even greater degree, the work of art reproduced becomes the work of art designed for reproducibility. This democratization of art creates a new possibilities for critique. Art that was once confined to elite spaces can now circulate among diverse audiences, challenging societal norms and inspiring collective reflection. Imaginative practices such as speculative fiction and community-based art exemplify this shift. These forms often reject traditional hierarchies of artistic value, instead prioritizing accessibility, collaboration, and envisioning of alternative futures. Take speculative fiction, for instance. By constructing hypothetical worlds, it critiques existing systems, encouraging readers and viewers to question the inevitability of the present. Community-based art projects, on the other hand, bring people together to co-create, embedding critique within the process itself. In both cases, the reproducibility of art enables it to transcend physical and cultural boundaries, reaching new audiences and fostering dialogue. Benjamin's reflections also emphasize how art's reproducibility aligns it with movements for social justice. He writes, "The cathedral leaves its local to be received in the studio, a lover of art. The choral production performed in auditorium or in the open air resounds in the drawing room." In this way, art becomes more than a reflection of society. It becomes a tool for its transformation. By shedding its aura, art invites critique, mobilizes communities, and opens pathways to reimagine the world. This ability to critique and inspire, to disrupt the status quo while proposing new possibilities, is where art's enduring power lies. Art endures because it is not static. It evolves, critiques, and inspires. In times of darkness, it has been our mirror, reflecting the harsh truths of reality, yet it has also been our light, illuminating pathways toward hope, justice, and transformation. From its earliest forms rooted in ritual to its role as a tool for critique and memory, art connects us to what was, what is, and what could be. Walter Benjamin reminds us that art, even when reproduced, retains the power to mobilize communities and challenge the status quo. Sarah Azizia emphasizes that art preserves truths otherwise erased, and Naomi Klein shows us how creativity binds us together, even in moments of crisis. These perspectives converge to reveal a profound truth. Art is not just a passive reflection of society, it is an active participant in shaping it. In the face of systemic collapse, art offers us a choice. It asks, will we surrender to despair, or will we imagine something new? The answer lies not only in what we create, but how we engage, collaborate, and remember. Through art, we find the courage to confront injustice, the solidarity to resist it, and the imagination to envision a better world. Art reminds us that even in the darkest times, there is always singing. And that singing is not about forgetting the dark times, but transforming them. Let us continue to create, to critique, and to dream of the futures we have yet to build. Thank you.